juiciest topic of this week's show, and
Yeah.
part of the reason why I was going to do this with people or not, because this one needs to be talked about a little bit. Victoria Alonso has been, as we now know, straight up fired from Marvel Studios.
Yeah, I saw this when it first came out. It was weird because I had conflicting reports to, like, she left on her own, then she was fired, and the reason why she was fired. Where
I'll say the initial report was that
Yeah.
she had just left.
Yeah, and then like
she'd exited. It was never stated until I think yesterday, like the day after.
What I was getting with the conflicting reports, where they're saying that the reason why she left wasn't just because she left; it was because the reason why the special effects and CGI was so mismanaged was because she was cherry picking work for the effects crew, where if you are her favorite, she'd give you more work to do, whether you liked it or not. And if you pissed her off, she would leave you high and dry, which would, I guess, cause some infighting. And then
say it's either you're made a king or you're blacklisted. She's a bit of a kingmaker, but apparently,
and then another report came out saying, "Oh no, she was never like that, and that was not the reason why she was let go or she left on her own." And then, I think like 3 anonymous Marvel actors said that she was a model citizen. I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, if you want to remain anonymous, why do you got to say that? Why don't you just say it with your whole chest? And just say no, she was not this person.
Yeah, because wasn't it like the up and coming ones? This is like, well, that's narrowed it down to the kids. It's like, look at all the red carpets recently, right? It's like, I put good money on one being Sochi Gomez, easily Sochi. Iman Vellani, 100%, hands down, and I can't think of another one who else it would probably be.
Yeah,
I know there's at least 3 of them, but those 2 at least I put money on.
And then like the report saying that Feige wasn't, I guess he wasn't a part of the initial, I guess, firing, but he knew that there was a meeting about it.
This is the bit for me that is the loudest part. Over the years, we've known Feige to be very, he's going to fight for what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
Right. And yet he hasn't intervened here. I'm sorry. There's, there's reports of VFX artists saying, she wasn't, she didn't make this toxic work environment. But then you have all these other VFX artists saying the exact opposite. Well, both can be true.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that he didn't intervene and step in here and he's let this happen is
it could be just it could just be a case by case basis where she was fine and dandy like 1 month or 2 months, and then she was horrible like the next month for whatever reason. And
I mean, it fits the whole thing of she's a kingmaker, right? Or if you you can easily get blacklisted by her. Like, of course, you're going to have different experience with someone like that. If she's doing if this is actually the case, it's literally leaning into that argument and narrative still. So
because from what people are saying is like she essentially had it made at this point in time with what she was working with. But it's just I guess it's just an eye opener because this comes just months after Bob Iger made it or announced that they were going to rein in on the content being made because at this point in time they are not having, I guess, they're not liking their content with the quality that it's being made with what people are saying, which in all fairness with the criticism, it is not up to the quality of past content that they have made. Most specifically, what the people that jumped out is the CGI for She-Hulk and for Quantumania. So,
which to me though, yes, there's some dodgy CGI in both those things, but I think overall it's not the worst fire pit the internet makes it out to be. It's like, there's been far worse.
Yeah, it's not the deal breakers, but you could clearly see that the
you
quality
can
has
see that there's 100%. But not in everything, though, right? You know, you can look at something like Eternals, and that thing looks fantastic. And you get some shots in Black Widow where you can clearly see the green screen still. And it's just like,
like
it's hit and miss depending.
Yeah, like you can now you can see that why Iger made the statement that they're gonna be focusing more on quality now than quantities. Because for me, I was like, they're spreading themselves really, really thin, having like 6 or 7 projects come out a year. Like, I don't think
I think it was like 4 movies and 6 TV shows last year. At one point, it was a lot.
Yeah, that's from looking back on it and seeing like they were spreading themselves way too thin with certain projects. Whereas like you said, with certain projects like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and like parts of I know some parts is dodgy with Moon Knight, which could have been better, and some other projects. So I'm okay with them, starting to slow down and have more quality control on their projects, which is why a lot of the movies and TV shows have been pushed back. And I think like at this point in time, I think was it Secret Invasion is the only TV show that's
I think we have 3 this year.
I think
3
it's Secret Invasion and Loki season 2 are the I think
Echo as well. I think Echo is supposed to be end of this year.
It's supposed to be, but I think so far from like that, it's been technically pushed back because it just has 2023 now on it, and that Secret Invasion and Loki season 2 are still on the slate to come out this year. So, but for from those 2 shows onward, a lot of TV shows and the movies don't have an actual release date anymore. It's just the year. And
the slate they announced last year, we don't even that's nowhere now. That's the slate was always a bit fluid anyway, but now that thing's just been blown right out the wall.
Yeah, because Iger's like, we're gonna stop spending a lot more, spend some more time on polishing what we have.
But this is all for me anyway. I think this is a very obvious what's the word? Not like repercussion, but result of the Bob Chapic mentality.
The penny pinching.
Yeah. Spending less, get out more. Yeah. Get rich quick schemes and all this sort of stuff.
Well, it's that, and it's the they're just thinking more of the short-term gain than the long-term gain. From what it was is that a lot of the the shareholders and the project runners did not like him for that, because they kept trying to tell him that you'll get more money in the long term if you invest and have quality control instead of just throwing things out just to have people consume, which had diminishing returns because of the quality. Which it's that one thing where you want to have a lot of stuff to consume, or would you rather have a small set of stuff to consume, but it's made to the best of their ability?
Exactly. It's a shame. Well, I say it's a shame she's gone. We don't know the whole story behind this one. There's not anything really concrete.
It's just weird that this came out at this time, and it was I wouldn't say like abrupt, but it's just like a head scratcher, because like I said earlier, she didn't really have to. She didn't have to go anywhere else because she had a job of a lifetime to just continue to be working with.
She was there since 2006. Like, she's been there since the beginning. It's nuts.
But
at the end of the day, like, it might not necessarily have been her, but she was the head of VFX and post production at that studio. So it all
a lot of
if your leadership's that bad, then I'm sorry.
A lot of VFX workers kept coming out saying it was saying stories about that, so there has to be some truth to that. So
and obviously Disney and Marvel aren't the only studios that treat VFX things like that crap.
Yeah.
But when you have this output that Marvel had in the last few years, and not to criticize how Marvel do stuff, because you know they've made 28 billion in 10 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But their whole fluid way of filmmaking, where you can change things at the last minute, for the amount of projects they had coming out, that was just not sustainable for anyone.
Yeah.
Like no wonder these VFX artists are hating their jobs and lives at the minute. Like, you're literally doing the worst thing possible. But hopefully that is, like, you can see an industry-wide change on that, because it needs to happen, and hopefully Marvel and Disney can pull their finger out and sort their stuff out, because that's it. Something needs to change. Something needs to move. And if this is the first thing that
it's probably
leads to change, then cool.
It probably is, since Bob Iger came back, because if you mess with the shareholders' money, you're probably not going to have a job much longer.
Exactly. Yeah, so we'll no doubt find. I assume soon they'll probably no doubt get like 3 people to do her job and spread the workload on that one. But
yeah, I would expect that. It work better if, since they are working on more quality, that a lot of the stuff takes some more time than what was expected. Which
it seems to be the thing nowadays, unless I just never noticed it before, where if one person goes, you get 2 to replace them. And spread it out a little bit. And
I know it's a little off topic before we end this, but it's he did put out that I guess it's weird how you could interpret this as that they are not potentially probably wouldn't be doing like franchises of like 3 or 4 movie installments for the most part. You could read it that way, or it's just that if they are doing what they said that they are attempting to do, which is legacy characters, you won't be seeing continue episodic installments of said franchise with a set character. Because
that to me was very much like, you probably won't have resources like in a Thor 4, like a Thor 5. Instead, you're going to focus on like a Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye project.
Yeah.
Like a little more like a Young Avengers situation than that, instead of doing this. Like they've had their chance. You haven't, not get rid of those characters, but they don't necessarily need more spotlight, because
like a great example of this is essentially Captain America 4, but it's not really Captain America 4 because it's Sam Wilson being Captain America, and that's where people were confused at this point in time. It's like, is this the Captain America 4? I'm like, you could look at it that way, but essentially it's a new case.
It is, but it isn't in the same sense. It's both at once. But that's my thinking anyway. It's like Captain America obviously isn't just Steve, like it did in Iron Man 4. Like it's Iron Man 4, right? It's a different person. Like the person's not the name and all that. But with someone like Thor, though, is you could go the same route.
You could keep going. And I think from what Hemsworth has said, like he wants to do one more, and then that'd be it. So
which I'm fine with. That's totally fine. We have Natalie Portman in some capacity anyway, so they can always bring her back from Valhalla and all that. So but we'll see how they handle all their clogged up machinery, because they seem to have. The pandemic has definitely hit Marvel hard. Pandemic and Chapic at the same time was probably the worst, like an actual apocalyptic situation for that studio.
The Feige supercomputer needs to get itself up to this time.
I hope that robot's a real thing. But let us know what you think about the whole Victoria Alonso situation, because I'm convinced there's obviously got to be some truth to it, right? Like, you're not gonna have all this stuff come out.
Usually there is some truth to what's been going on, so it's not just like, oh no, she's innocent of all of this. And
because at the end of the day, you don't get blindsided by a firing if you haven't done anything wrong.
No, that's what people see it from her. She quit on her own. So
I mean that was the initial report, yeah, but the one the day after was very much indeed. She did not see this coming. They came from the shadows on this one and took that woman out. But I'm sure we'll get more details in the coming months. Someone's going to say something, and and whatever else.
Yeah. Before we go, RIP MCU spoilers. Reddit.
Oh yeah, Feige came for you guys hard.
Yeah, 7
all you
years.
scoopers out there, there's specifically a shiny one. I'd be very, very worried right now.
They had a 7-year run of trying to get people on the projects to spill the beans for clout, and it finally came to a head.
Yeah, when you're leaking entire script, yikes. But yeah, we'll leave you on that note. So hope we'll catch you. Hopefully, not in a month's time. It'll be before that. So bye bye.